Welcome to Wired to Run, the ADHD-fueled running podcast where our shoes hit the pavement and the dopamine hits just right. Today, we're talking about the absolutely unhinged, chaotic, surprisingly effective mind games we play with ourselves just to get through a run. If you've ever convinced yourself that the next mailbox is basically the finish line, or that if you don't make it up this hill, your entire week will collapse, you're in the right place. So lace up, lock in, and let's crush some miles. Joining me for another fun-filled episode is my guest co-host, my husband, Will. Welcome back.
Hi, everyone. It's great to be back. I think this is going to be a a really fun episode. So how's your training been going?
It's going.
It's always difficult with the holidays.
It is. I think that's the hardest part of long distance training, the thick of the holidays, making time for it, and just kind of letting know family, friends that you're spending a lot of time on the road or in the gym getting those miles in. So how about
Absolutely.
you?
It's hit and miss. It's always fun. You've got Thanksgiving and then Christmas and lots of food, but and sometimes it kind of makes you a little tired, a little lazy. Makes it a little hard to get out for those long miles, um, but you make it through.
I agree. So I would say, what is the most challenging part so far in this, I guess, section of training? I know for me, my big race weekend's coming up in January. I'm doing Dopey Challenge, my very first Dopey Challenge, 48.6 mile race weekend. And I've never gone that far over a race weekend. So I'm a bit nervous and excited at the same time. But, I've got my last Dopey simulation coming up next weekend. And I know you guys are very supportive of me and getting out there running with me and also, taking care of the kids and everything like that.
Well, you've been crushing it, so I'm very proud of you. You've logged a lot of miles on the treadmill and out on the trail and streets, and it's been a lot of very early mornings. So, you're my inspiration.
Oh, thanks, hon. Back at you. I would be doing this if it wasn't for you. You inspired me with your first marathon and finishing that. And I think I was crying like a baby watching you cross that finish line.
Well, you inspired me when you found the first half marathon. I didn't even know those existed, and then I just remember you training. You crossed that finish line, and it was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you just did 13.1 miles, and you paid for it. You even paid to do it. So after I saw you cross the finish line, how just excited and emotional, and I was
That's
like,
fun.
oh, I got to do one now.
Oh, it's crazy. I didn't even know I could do it myself. I actually didn't know that I could finish it until I literally was coming around that bend and saw that finish line and did not think I was going to be able to do it. So
So it's actually kind of interesting that you bring up not knowing that you can do it, the long miles, and it kind of goes right into tonight's episode, the mind games that we play.
yes.
So are there any that come to mind first
Oh,
that get you through
goodness.
those long miles?
Yeah. So this episode, I know we had little bit of a gap in between episodes. The holidays, training has taken over our lives. So kids and all the responsibilities, this time of year. So this episode we call Mind Tricks and Miles, because to get through those miles, whether you're just starting out as a runner and you're just trying to make it out the door and make it down the block. This is, for people that just want to get off the couch and log a few steps. You got to start somewhere. And there was a time where I was like, I hate running. I tried to get out of it in gym class as a kid. You would have told me at 8 years old, 9 years old in school that I'd be a runner someday. I would have never believed it. You got to start somewhere. And if the most you do is walk down the block, that's awesome. I'm proud of you. We're both proud of you.
Absolutely.
I kind of have to overcome those mental mountains. And for me, it goes with playing a lot of mind tricks. And thankfully, one of the good things about having ADHD, I found over the years, is not knowing it was ADHD, because obviously I was just recently diagnosed, but is kind of being imaginative. Like you have a really great imagination and you come up with a lot of creative ways of distracting yourself or innovative ideas of kind of getting through those tough spots. Even like 1 mile, time trial type things. You got to get your mind off of it when you're in it. So we're gonna go through a couple of those things that we were talking over dinner one night, and we're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you know, we do that. Some of them are kind of embarrassing. And as we talk to our friends, we're kind of like, oh my gosh, you do that too? Okay, I'm not alone. I'm not that weird.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're out, running, when you're doing something difficult, and your mind just has to go somewhere, and I think a lot of these are very universal.
Yes, they definitely are.
One thing that I tend to do is wanting to PR for no reason. And I think this actually started like even as a beginning runner because
Yeah.
I remember in my first membership to LA Fitness,
Hmm.
not sponsored. And I'd get on the treadmill and be like, okay, I'm gonna do 3 miles. And I'm thinking, I've gotta run all 3 miles, and just huffing and puffing, and then, found the run, walk, run method, and it's just funny because sometimes, whether it's on the treadmill, whether it's on the street, you look at your training schedule, it's like, "Cool, it's a long, slow run on a Saturday." And then you start running and you're like, "I'm going really, really slow," or "I'm feeling really good today." And it's like, "Oh, I'm supposed to finish it in, however many, hours, or I've got, whatever pace."
Hmm.
Um, but you feel good.
Yeah.
So it's so hard to, like, hold back.
Yeah. You just like, okay, I could totally get this. I could totally PR this. And you get in your head about it. I get that. Yeah, I've been there a little bit too. Yeah, I could not as much as you. You're very competitive with yourself. I like the feeling of running, so I don't get super competitive. But yeah, you definitely go there. So I could totally see that. Yeah.
Called out. Um,
Yeah.
so what's, one that you
Oh
find yourself
gosh. I
doing?
think for me, I'm a side quester, like, with everything in my life. I think I tend to go down rabbit holes and up in places I didn't expect. So, I think for me, I'm messing around with my playlist. I know you laugh at me and friends laugh that, like, I'm kind of fidgeting around with my phone and playing with my playlist and taking things off my playlist mid-run, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I don't want the song on there anymore." Like, "You can fix it later." And I'm like, "I don't know. I just it doesn't have the right vibe," things like that. You kinda, go on your own little, adventure, planning a couple businesses here. You and I both on that, like, "Oh, we should open a shop," We're running together, like, you and I are, like, CEOs of the world when you and I run together. We're big dreamers.
Absolutely. I kinda find running is almost like, it's almost the same as being in the shower. You just kinda, like, start thinking about
Yeah,
things, and I think about work, and I think about, like, "Okay, well, what if we do this? What if we do that?"
yeah,
And yeah, but it's actually kinda nice too because it also takes your mind off of some of those
yeah.
miles that you're running.
We'll be talking about, like, we both love our buddy Lou Mongello podcast, and he's always we're always listening to his shows, and he's talking about what's going on in the world of Disney and, um talking about changes at Epcot or Hollywood Studios, and all of a sudden you and I get into like this deep dive of like the mental redesign of Epcot and its entire layout, and all while we're running.
Let's just pick up the living seas and
Well,
drop it in Animal Kingdom.
all the new countries we could have and World Showcase and stuff like that. Those are my side quests.
Yeah.
Like my mind is somewhere else. I'm not thinking of where I'm going, how fast I'm going, how many miles I'm at. I'm like totally like somewhere else. So, yeah, I think that's mine.
Yeah, and I think I just came up with a new side quest, so I think next time I'm, like, running on the trail, or I have this bad habit when I run on the streets, I know where the Starbucks is, where Dunkin'
Yeah.
Donuts
Oh,
is.
yeah. Yeah,
Maybe I can do a cookie side quest.
oh, just go for it. You need the carbs, right? We did that.
Yeah.
We went to Starbucks. We did my 23-mile run. We did my last dopey simulation. I did my was it 4 miler. My coach had me do a 4 miler on Thursday, 10 on Friday. and then 23 on Saturday, and I did 10 on the treadmill walking, which was torture,
Yeah.
and then 13 on the trail, and you joined me for 13 even though we were supposed to do 10. And, we kinda hit the wall there pretty
Oh, yeah.
good, and we saw a Starbucks, and I definitely need to take a potty break, and I was like, "Okay," like, there's Starbucks right up here. And it was a little chilly that day too, and you're like, "Oh, I'll go get a coffee and everything," and I just we both grabbed snowman cookies,
Mhm.
that
Yep.
really hit the
Oh,
spot and
absolutely.
definitely was the sugar we needed to keep going, so
Yeah, I might buy a couple for my, next half marathon.
I put 'em aside.
That's right.
Those okay. It may mess up your tummy a little bit if you're not used to it. Nothing new on race day. They're so good.
They
And
are.
they really, like, seriously, they helped with the glycogen.
Man, there's a lot of advertising going
Yeah.
on here.
Not sponsored by
Yeah,
Starbucks.
unpaid. But it's funny that you mentioned, like, the playlist, but,
Mhm.
like, one thing I do find myself doing is changing either, like, my playlist or what I'm listening to depending on how what kind of mood I'm in. So sometimes I might be listening to music and then it's like, "Oh, I do not like this song. I'm not in the mood for this."
Mhm.
And I go into a podcast and it's like, "Oh, nope, that's not the right one." Or then I go into like a book and
Doesn't sound ADHD at all.
no, not one bit. But yeah, it is funny depending on, like, what mile you're in, the heat, it
Mhm.
can change everything. Do you find yourself doing that a lot?
I do. Yeah, I do. I it depends on the day for sure. Like if I'm in the zone and I'm in it and you know, I've got my Spotify playlist and it's good and the vibes there. I'm in it and I'm not touching it and I'm there. But there's days where I'm just like I can't get comfortable. It's like
Mhm.
those nights where you like toss and turn, you can't get comfortable, it's too hot and then you're too cold and you're flipping side to side and you're flipping the pillow over and over. It's like that on a run. Like, you're like, "Oh, I can't get comfortable. My shoes are bothering me, and my laces are too tight, and my pants are, the waistband's bothering me, and my sunglasses are fogging up." And it's like one of those situations.
Exactly.
So, yep,
Nope,
totally get
been
it.
there.
Yep. It's a good distraction, but sometimes not in a great way. I think my overthinking can get, a little bit away from me. They say that a lot of women do not get diagnosed with ADHD at a younger age. It gets overlooked because hyperactivity is not presented the same way as men or boys. Because girls' hyperactivity is usually internal, it's inward, and it's in their brain. So it's manifested more as kind of overthinking and kind of perseverating on thoughts, like
Mm.
kind of stewing and dwelling on thoughts. And I know sometimes I do that. I get into like this loop of just like what ifs or why did I say that thing back in 2016 to so and so? That was so dumb. And it's like, okay, it was 9 years ago. Like, girl, just let it go. But like those things, like it's almost like the Olympic sport of overthinking.
Yeah,
you
yep,
know?
absolutely.
But, you start getting to that thing of like, you start over analyzing decisions you made, things you said, a certain project at work. I know we do that with work. I'm always thinking about work. I love my job, so I dive right in and I'm always analyzing what I could do better and things like that. And even something as silly as like, could I be an ultra runner? Like, could I do 100 mile? Like, no. I have a friend, a really good friend named Stephanie. Maybe she'll come on the podcast someday. But she did an ultra last year. Super proud of her. And man, you got to be superhuman for that. We listen to a lot of Rise and Run podcast and Jack on the show. She did 100 miler, and man, she's incredible. Like I can't fathom doing that, but those are the thoughts that kinda go through my head. I'm like, "Could I do something like that one day? Nah, can't imagine I could never do something like that." So, but you just kind of think about those things that your ADHD brain spiral topics kinda just they spiral, as you go on a run.
No, absolutely. And, sometimes that's not necessarily a bad thing because I think sometimes, we might actually think more clearly when we're running than we actually think we are.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. Yeah.
I know one thing that I do a lot is run until this song ends. There's certain songs where I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, I love this song," and I just can't imagine myself walking
Yeah.
during the song.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, it's just such an upbeat song. Um, but then what happens is with my playlist, that song ends and then, like, another song kicks in, and it's like, "Oh my gosh, I love this song too."
And you just keep going?
I just keep going, and then
Oh my god.
eventually I'm like, "Okay,
It's like the 3rd or 4th song in,
I've
you're like, "I'm
ignored
gonna
my
die of a
run
heart
walk
attack."
timer."
Yeah, my coach would not like that. No, I definitely, I don't have that problem. Yeah, I'm pretty good with sticking to my run walk timer. Every now and then I'll hear a song that I love that I have to run through. I'm not as young as I was, back in the day before we had our little one, and I could run through some some of those songs. But I can see that you definitely will, power through those intervals and keep going. I see on the treadmill at the gym and take off. I'm like, oh, that must be a good song he's listening to. He's taking off. So for me, I think I definitely get the feeling to bargain with myself a little bit. Like, okay, like, um, you can walk once you pass that dog or that mailbox. Like you're like it's almost like a fartlek where you kind of, I'll run to that mailbox, I'll run to that lamppost,
Mhm.
kind of thing where you're not really doing an interval, but like it's kind of like an allowance sort of like bargain with yourself, almost like you're two different people. So like, okay, run 2 more minutes and then you can walk. Like you like almost like a parent to a child. Like if you're good, you run 2 more minutes, you're rewarded with a walk. Like that's so bad. I do that so many times, but I think I do it to really take my mind off things. So whether it's healthy or not, I have
Nope,
no
yeah.
idea.
No, I'm right there with you because I do the same thing sometimes too, where it's just kinda like, again, you could either be in the zone or you could be like, "Oh, you know what? I had to, walk a little bit in order to fuel," and so it's like, "Oh, now I've gotta make up that time." Um, yeah, and sometimes it's just the challenge.
Yep. Yeah, just trying to get yourself to just be a little bit better than you were before.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get that, yeah. So, I try to be my own coach in my head sometimes, like, I know, my coach, Coach Twigs, he's very, like, motivational and encouraging. I've had moments where I've had, like, meltdowns on the trail where I'm like, "I can't do this, I can't do this." I'm like, I'm 18 and I'm out of fuel and this is really hard, and, I'll call him and he's like, "You've done this before. You can do this, Laura. I know you can do this. Come on, you got this." He's always so uplifting. So sometimes on those really tough ones, I'll kind of have the imaginary coach yelling at me, like not in a bad way, but like, cheering me on, kind of like, "Don't give up on yourself, champ." Like you kind of become the star of your own sports movie. So you kind of complete with like a fictional coach, shouting inspirational nonsense at you, like, "Come on, you got this. Make me proud."
That's right.
But I do, like you kind of like envision that. So like a friend and I were talking about kind of like like totally bizarre things that like help you get through those runs, even like short runs, like and like pretending you're being filmed.
Well, if you think about it, every race has photographers, so it's not
It's
it's not
true.
too much of a
Like you're in a motivational Peloton ad or
yes.
something. Perfect form, serious face, like totally Oscar worthy, something like that. Or you're in the star of a show, and it's embarrassing to admit. I can't believe I'm admitting this. Oh my gosh. There's been times on the trail, you know how our trail goes, like it's like, straight
Oh, yeah.
shot and then it kind of bends around. And I'll I'll put the Mission Impossible song on. And you know where I'm going with this. And I'll run like Tom Cruise really, really hard. You see me out there, middle-aged mom just gunning it to Mission Impossible and just, pretending I'm like him with the high knees, like leaning back, leading with the knees, running. But whatever gets you through, take your mind off of the challenge of getting through all that. So, and that's really with the speed work because I was telling my friend Amy, like, I hate speed work. I will take long miles over speed work any day. I just don't like it. It's rough on my knees. It's not my favorite. So, yeah, Mission Impossible for me is I'm pretending I'm Tom Cruise, the star of my movie. Oh my gosh, that was embarrassing.
But, I think we've all done it. It kinda reminds me of, another thing that I tend to do. Not so much, like, on the trails or whatever, but I do this during races, and if I'm running, like, on the road, especially when people are, like, walking dogs or whatnot, is, you're doing your intervals and you're running, and then you see someone, like, in front of you, and it's like, "Okay, they're seeing that I'm running, and I'm running, but now my timer says to walk. And if I start walking, they're gonna be like, okay, why are you walking now? Like my brain's just thinking,
Yeah,
aren't you a runner? And it's like, but I'm
yeah.
doing intervals. Not everybody
But they're gonna
understands
judge
intervals.
you.
Yeah, and they're gonna judge me. So I'm like, I'm just gonna keep running. I'm gonna run through two, like
Oh
two
my gosh.
intervals. And,
That's so funny. Oh
but
my goodness.
and that's why I like the trail or running, like
There's nobody looking at you.
yeah, and usually most people understand,
Yeah.
but yeah, like when I'm running on the road and or or even like at the start of a race, that used to always be like my problem
Yeah.
is I always hated like, okay, I'm doing 30-30s, just started the race, 30 seconds in, it's like, okay, let me start walking. Um but
Yep, I know that. Yep, like, you kinda like, "There's somebody's watching me," somebody's thinking I'm a like a slow runner, but nobody
yeah,
cares.
yeah,
No, everybody's running their own race.
exactly.
And the people that are the spectators people are watching, they're just in awe that you're out there doing something, whether you're doing a 5K, a fun run, or you're running an ultra, they're just in
Yeah,
awe that you're out there and they're having fun too. And I'll tell you, like,
absolutely.
some of the signs that people hold up and the spectators that cheer you on, they're the best. Like, they're the
Absolutely.
highlight for me of a race. Outside, like, finishing and getting your medal and your banana, like, that's the best part. But, like, I love the spectators, and they're just there to lift you up, so nobody's, like,
Yeah,
judging. That's the funny thing is, like, you get in your head about it, and you're like,
exactly.
they're all thinking that, I'm slow, but
Yeah.
nah,
No.
they're not. Yeah.
And speaking of spectators, anyone who has one of those, touch or hit for a power up,
Yeah.
I love those signs.
You do.
I
Usually
I always have to run up
ugh.
and,
I
like, fist bump it.
I'm not a big, it depends on when in the race. If it's early on, I'm like, "Woohoo, yeah." If it's, like, mile 17, I'm like, oh no." Like, I'm not coming over that side of that road 'cause, you're really, like, you're done. Um,
See,
like,
my thing is it's always like a little kid that's, like, holding it, I'm like
if it's a little kid,
it's
that's a
like,
different
oh,
story. I will walk over
I'm
for a little kid.
I'm dragging my behind, but I'm like, I've gotta
Yeah. I haven't seen it. I have not been on a race where a little kid's holding a power up sign yet. But he's usually an adult, usually a guy, like, screaming his head off, and I'm like, "Well, stop screaming, I'm trying to do my best." I'm usually too far in it, in my head and in the pain cave
Mhm.
when those signs are out, and, like, I tell my friend Holly and Amy, we did the marathon together last year from Disney, and we had, I think, mile 17 or 18 in Animal Kingdom. I don't know if I mentioned this in the last episode, but, um, I was not in a good place, and, I told my friend Holly, my friend Amy was a little bit, to the other side of her, and I just turned to my friend Holly and going, "I'm not smiling for the photo past the saga birds when I get into Animal Kingdom because I was in such a bad mental state because I was just like, if they're holding signs, I don't care. I'm not smiling. 'Cause you're just so in the pain cave that you just do not care. You just want to be away from like everybody and just be done. You're so done beyond done. So
That's why the castle's at mile 5.
yeah. Yeah, it was at 9 and you're like, "Oh, it's a castle." And we did confirm today, I don't know if there's any listeners out there that are doing any of the Disney races. They did release today, the day of this recording, um, they did release the race routes, so it's really exciting, and personally, I am so excited that their route is the same. I wish that they would go through World Showcase, that last mile, because I haven't done it yet, and people, I mean, it was incredible. I heard it was wild to run the 26th mile through World Showcase. They took that out, I think probably to open up the parks, I'm assuming, to not have to, like, hold up, people getting into World Showcase, but, later in the afternoon. But, I'm happy that it hasn't changed because that's all I know is that race route from
Yeah.
last year, and the main reason is because I know what to expect. I know exactly what that race route felt like, looked like, where I hit that pain cave, and how I got through it. So it's kind of like, because it's expected, I'm kind of not really comfortable with it, but just a little bit more at ease to kind of go, okay, I've been here before and I made it through. So I'm a little bit on the happier side that it didn't change.
You kind of know where in the race
Mhm.
route that you're going to have to implement
Yep.
these mind games.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I could be wrong. There's times I've hit the wall sooner and I've hit the wall later, and there's been times where I didn't hit the wall at all. I have yet to not hit the wall completely. That's definitely not happened where I've gone 26 miles of it. It's a mind game here like this, mind tricks and miles. You got to trick your mind into, continuing to go. I'm trying to think. Oh, I've got a good one. One that you're not going to like. It's my husband.
I'm waiting with bated breath.
um, so I would say, like, the rewards after.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Like, oh gosh, so it depends on, like, the reward. Like, you like Dunkin' Donuts, but it's kind of like, okay, if I finish the smile, it's iced coffee afterwards. I'm going to Starbucks, or like you love Dunkin', I love Starbucks. If I finish, 2, I get Starbucks and a bagel, or like Einstein bagels, like everything bagel, or like one of those pretzel bagels with the salt to replenish the electrolytes or something like that. If I finish, 10 miles, I get my iced coffee, my Einstein bagel, and I run home and I get a soak in an Epsom soak, and, in the tub, and shower, and I'm going to get a pedicure. And you're like, the money's just flying out the window. So I know you don't like this, like, reward roulette.
But again, it's something I think we all do,
Yeah.
or most of us do. I mean, I do it.
Yeah.
Um, after the 13 miles with you, I was like, Dunkin' Donuts, here I come. I think we actually stopped and got
We
some ice
did.
cream too.
We did. We stopped and got ice cream after our 23 mile, or yeah, the 23 miler.
Well, it was 23 for you. It
It
was
was
only
worth it.
13 for me.
It was
So
worth it though. That ice cream's so good. So I don't know why I always crave ice cream after I run, like, long distances. It's
yeah,
like
what
my thing.
what's weird for me is usually I'm not super hungry after I
Mhm.
run. Um,
It's a couple hours later.
yeah, and then I want to eat something, but
Yeah.
no, it's funny because I think a lot of us do that because it just makes sense. It's like, if I'm gonna be out here suffering, the
Yeah.
more I suffer, the greater the reward I want, I
Yeah.
want to have.
I better get all of these things. I want all the
Absolutely.
things. I want all the food. Speaking of food, um, like, do you ever, like, fantasize about, like, what snacks, like, you have, like, different, trying to think of, like, planning your post-run, uh, snack or meal would be, like, almost like a movie inside your brain?
I actually do because, depending on where my race is,
Yeah.
that kinda depends, like, what restaurant I might wanna go
That's
to
true.
or what fast food place I might wanna go to. Tacos are always, number 1 priority.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's kinda funny because even, like, training runs,
Yeah.
I always go back to Dunkin'.
Oh, yeah.
It's just yummy and
Yep.
good and
Oh, I always crave a burger. Like you, I'm not really hungry straight after, like, a run. I almost feel like a little bit
mhm.
nauseous after a run. I usually just do my Fairlife protein shake, and I do my, like, maybe some coffee and shower, and then just, like kind of veg, try to, like, just, like, kind of try to chill out for a little bit and stuff like that and recover. But I'm not that hungry at all. Probably in for maybe 5 or 6 hours. and then it's like the hangry monster comes
Oh, yeah.
out, and you're just, like, starving and, like, could eat everything in the pantry. And so what's happening to me, it's like it's literally like you turn into the Incredible Hulk, and either you and I both are,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
tearing
Oh,
apart the fridge and the
absolutely.
pantry, you're like, "Where's the food?"
Absolutely.
Like, "We just went grocery shopping."
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. It's like, after I'm done running, I just wanna get a lot of liquid in me,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
then after that, and because I think part of it is just, like, when you're exercising like that,
Mhm.
um, your body's just so concentrated on running, just keeping the systems running, that by the time you're done, it's just kinda like food's almost like an afterthought,
Mhm.
and then once everything kinda calms back down, then your body's like, "Oh, wait, I
Yeah.
just did that, so now
Yeah.
I need to eat this, that, and the other."
Yeah, it's always protein later. Like, my body definitely
Oh,
needs
yeah.
the protein replacement, so it's always a burger, and I'm not a big burger
No,
person,
you're not.
but, like, it's always a burger, and I know I usually send you out for it. You're so nice, like, "Alright, what do you want?" I always get the same thing all the time, and our little one loves the fries from the same
Oh,
place that
yeah.
we go to, so, we know it's a safe spot, to go because she's very picky eater, so, but yeah, so it's, definitely the snack fantasies that we have on our runs is a great mind trick, to get your mind off of things, so, um,
Here's a
gosh.
good one,
Yeah?
or at least one that I do all the time
Mhm,
is, it's like we can stop once, I hit a certain mileage,
mhm.
because I hate to say it, but even if it's like a training run and it's like 3 miles, I don't wanna stop at 3, I wanna go 3.1. If I have to do a 6-mile run, I wanna do
Gosh, it's
6.2.
so true. I will never go 4.98 or 4.99. I know personally from my Strava, I will look at my Garmin and it'll say 5.01 and I'm still at 4.99 on my Strava. So, I will go that extra whatever point 0.02 just to get that, to show up in Strava. It's not like I think I have like a few friends on Strava, but it's like for me mentally, I want it to say 5 miles on there or 10 miles or whatever. And I know personally for my coach has an app that logs everything. And if it doesn't say the mileage that he put on my plan, um, I'm not. I didn't do it. Even though like my Garmin could have died. I feel like I just have to go out and do it. You remember that when I was pregnant, I
Oh, yeah.
think, when I did a I did a challenge. I think did I do like a
I know you did a couple of things. One, you did, I think it was like a 2 mile,
oh,
and then
yeah.
like I think it was 2 and then 6.
Oh, yeah, I did a 10K. A friend of mine gave me her bib for a local race. She couldn't do it.
We
A
don't advise this.
No, we don't have to no, no, she couldn't make it. She was sick, and she gave me her bib for a local race. I just wanted to do it just to be able to say, like, "Hey, I did this while I was pregnant." I was excited because I was very active, physically and running
You
and
you
in the
you earned a
gym.
lot of medals
I
during
did.
that,
Yeah.
during that period.
I was probably more in shape than now. But, I did a 10K, and then there was, like, a 2-mile challenge, and I didn't get there in time for the 2-mile challenge, so, what I did was I had Will drop me off at the
No,
corner.
no, no judgment. Please don't judge me on this.
No, I made him do it. I made him on our way home, I made him drop me off because they get I she g had the shirts from the races, the 2-miler shirt and, like, the 10K shirt, and I think it was, like, the challenge shirt. There was, like,
Yeah.
3 shirts or something like that, and she gave me the shirts, and I think we're, like, close to the same size, and I wouldn't wear the shirts until I earned those miles, and so I I made Will drop me off at the corner 2 miles away from home, and mind you, I'm, like, 29 weeks
Something
pregnant,
like that,
30 weeks
yeah.
pregnant, something like that. No, I was further along than that. I think it was almost
And
33 weeks
I
pregnant.
was concerned. It
Yeah.
wasn't a cool day.
No, it was pretty warm, and I had him drop me off, and so that I could do those 2 miles and earn that shirt, and it wasn't like I have to do it to earn the shirt. It was more like for me, like, I want to do this, and
It was a personal
it was a
challenge.
personal challenge, and didn't put myself at risk.
No.
It wasn't like 80 degrees out or something like that. I think it was like 72 or
And
something.
you had been running
Yeah.
all during your
Oh,
pregnancy,
yeah.
before the pregnancy,
I did a
so
half marathon pregnant,
yeah.
at Disney, and, Yeah, I did a lot of running, a lot of races, stayed very active and lifted and everything throughout my pregnancy. But I wanted to do it for me
Yeah.
and just, I walked it, but for me, it's something I wanted to do that day. And so, yeah.
No, I was super proud of you. I mean, you blew my mind with all the stuff that you did while you were pregnant.
Oh gosh.
That's why when you did your first marathon, I'm like, yeah, you've got it in the bag, because if you can do a half marathon pregnant, you can do a marathon not
Oh boy,
pregnant.
I don't know about that. Ooh, the marathon gave me a run for my money, I'll tell you that. Oh my goodness. I don't know. We had a lot of examples. I would probably say, gosh, I'm sure all of you out there have some really good mind tricks I'd love to hear. So you definitely have to shoot me an email at laceup@wired to run to give me some ideas on mind tricks over your miles of what you do to keep your mind off of the running for, good distractions. Cause, I definitely could use them. So it's, there's some good examples, and I'm glad you provided some of those because I'm actually going to use some of the suggested.
It's funny how some of these things, we don't really talk about,
We don't talk
and
about it. It's fun.
and kind of having that discussion, it's kind of like, you know what, I do the same thing too.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, definitely drop a comment, because
Yeah.
we'd love to hear all those different things everyone does to get through through the miles.
As y'all know, I'm not a doctor or therapist, just a runner with ADHD sharing the good, the crazy, the lighthearted miles in between. Don't take any of this that we chat about as medical advice. But thank you so much for hanging out with us on this episode. If our wonderfully chaotic conversation got you laughing or lacing up, that's a win. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you'd like a Wired to Run decal, hit me up at laceup@wiredtorun.com. You are the fuel that keeps this show flying. Until next time, lace up, lock in, and let's hit the pavement.